All right, today we're diving into a classic, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Another productivity guide, right? But stick with me, because this is so much more than that. We're going to unpack why this is a powerful framework for, well, fundamentally changing how you operate, literally from the inside out.
So let's kick things off with a question that, let's be honest, we've all asked ourselves. Why do most productivity hacks and all those success tips just fail over time? You know the drill, right? You try the new app, you get up at 5 a.m. for a new morning routine, but the results are always temporary. The change just never seems to stick. Well, Covey had a really powerful answer for this. He said it's because we're focusing on the symptoms, not the actual root cause.
And that brings us to the real heart of the problem he identified. See, Covey saw 2 totally different ways people approach success. First, there's the personality ethic. This is all about the surface stuff, your image, how you come across, those quick techniques to influence people. It's all about looking good. But then there's the character ethic. This is the complete opposite. It's about your foundation, things like integrity, courage, your core principles. Covey's whole argument was that real, lasting effectiveness comes from building solid character, not just from polishing your personality.
To really drive this point home, Covey used this fantastic metaphor, the P/PC balance. Just imagine you have a goose that lays golden eggs. Now P stands for production. That's the golden eggs, right? The results you want. But PC, that's production capability. That's the goose itself, your ability to actually produce those eggs. Now think about it. If you get greedy and focus only on grabbing the eggs and you forget to feed the goose, well, pretty soon you're going to lose both. The whole key is balancing getting those results with taking care of the asset that actually produces them.
Okay, so the 7 habits, they aren't just some random checklist. They're actually designed to guide us along what Covey called the maturity continuum. It's a journey, really. We all start out in a state of dependence where, you take care of me. The first set of habits is all about getting us to independence, where we can say, I am responsible for myself. But, and this is key, that's not the end goal. The highest level is interdependence, realizing that we can do it together and that we can achieve so much more that way.
So that first big step, that journey from dependence to independence, that's what Covey called the private victory. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's all about mastering yourself first before you can effectively work with others. It's built on these first 3 habits that really form the foundation for everything else.
So let's do a quick rundown of these first 3. Habit 1, be proactive, is all about taking ownership and focusing on what you can actually control. He calls this your circle of influence. Then you have habit 2, begin with the end in mind. This is where you define what really matters to you, maybe through a personal mission statement. And finally, habit 3, put first things first, is where the rubber meets the road. It's about actually executing on that vision by prioritizing the right things.
The core idea behind being proactive is it's actually really profound when you think about it. It's this recognition that between a stimulus, something that happens to you, and your response, there is a tiny gap, a little bit of space. And in that space lies your freedom to choose. See, reactive people, they're just driven by impulse. They completely collapse that space. But proactive people, they use that space. They pause, and they choose a response that's actually aligned with their values. And this leads us straight into one of the most practical tools from the whole book, for habit 3, the famous time management matrix. It's brilliant in its simplicity. It organizes everything we do by just 2 criteria: how urgent is it and how important is it? Most of us, let's be real, spend a ton of time in quadrant 1, fighting fires and dealing with crises. Or we get sucked into quadrant 3, with all those urgent interruptions that aren't actually important. Or we just escape to quadrant 4, the total time wasters. But the real key to being effective, well, it's found somewhere else entirely.
And here's the secret sauce. Highly effective people, they intentionally live in quadrant 2. These are the things that are super important, but they're not urgent. Things like long-term planning, building relationships, learning new skills, prevention, you get the idea. This is where you're feeding the goose, remember that? Instead of just chasing the golden eggs. And the magic is, the more time you spend here, the smaller all those other quadrants, especially the crisis one, start to become.
Okay, so once you've achieved that private victory, once you've started to master yourself, then you're ready for the public victory. This is that big shift from I can do it to we can do it better together. It's about moving from independence to true interdependence. And that means mastering how to work and collaborate with other people. And that's exactly what habits 4, 5, and 6 are all about.
All right, habit 4 is think win-win. This is a total mindset shift away from that competitive, if you win, I lose mentality. It's about believing there's enough for everyone and that the best solutions are the ones where everybody benefits. Then comes habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. This one is, well, it's the key to basically all effective communication. It means you have to listen with genuine empathy first before you ever try to make your own point. And finally, habit 6 is synergize. This is the magic that happens with creative cooperation, where the result you get as a team is way, way bigger than anything the individuals could have done on their own.
This quote really is the heart and soul of Habit 5. I mean, just think about it for a second. Would you ever trust a doctor who gave you a prescription before they even diagnosed what was wrong with you? No way, right? It sounds absurd, and yet we do it all the time in our conversations. This principle applies to every single interaction. We've got to take the time to really deeply listen and understand before we jump in with our own solutions and our own advice.
So you've got these 6 powerful habits, but what powers the whole system? What keeps it all running smoothly over the long haul? That's where the final habit comes in. Habit 7, sharpen the saw. This is the habit of personal renewal. It's the one that makes sure all the others are actually sustainable. It's all about consistently taking care of your single greatest asset, which is, of course, you.
So what does sharpening the saw actually mean? Well, it means investing regularly in 4 key dimensions of your life. You've got the physical, exercise, nutrition, sleep. You've got the mental, constantly learning, reading, planning. You've got the social and emotional, nurturing those key relationships in your life. And finally, the spiritual, which is about connecting to your core values, whatever that looks like for you. The key here is that real, true renewal requires balance across all 4 of these areas.
All right, let's pull this all together into a few key takeaways. The core philosophy of the whole book is this: real effectiveness is an inside-out job. It always, always starts with your character, not with some fancy new technique. It's guided by timeless principles, not by passing trends. And none of it is sustainable without a constant commitment to balance and renewal.
So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge to put this into practice, like right now. Think back to that time management matrix. My question for you is, what is just one important, non-urgent Quadrant 2 activity that you will actually schedule in your calendar this week? Seriously, pull it out and do it. Maybe it's finally planning out your goals, or reconnecting with an old colleague, or setting aside time to learn a new skill. Whatever it is, that one single action, that's where the real change actually begins.